So Death Stranding, I did a video about it 2 months ago, but I'm gonna do like another video about this. Now this game is very long. It is very, very, very long. I'm 50 hours into it, right? 50 hours into it. Like I still have more to do, like in the story. So Death Stranding, is a game like of many different systems and delivering items, delivering packages to these various, to different people and different sectors, and yeah. Where I am now, like I'm very familiar like with vehicles. Vehicles are they're electric, so they require generators to charge them up. There's vehicles, there's other things too. I unlocked the, what do you call it, the zip line. So the zip line, you can create a certain zip line, technological zip line. It is very cool. And there's other things too, like time fall shelters and bridges, and yeah. But there's lots of different things like in the game. There's a lot of sub menus in the game. There's a lot of menus and sub menus, right? Cargo menus, right? As you get further into the game, right, you unlock more items. You unlock more items. You unlock more systems. Fabricating items, so fabricating equipment is a big thing, where you basically build the equipment. So you make more equipment, items, tools, vehicles, right? But as you are fabricating equipment, right, you are using up like your own resources. You are using up your own resources, like metal, ceramic, alloy, ore, and yeah. As you make more, deliveries, you actually get more resources over time. There's also the online aspect of the game, which is actually confusing to me. So the online aspect of the game is players will assist you. So through the online will facilitate you, right? So it will help you out. So basically players, let's say like if there's a player that's in the same area as you, right? Like another player, a single player game, but it's like an online connectivity. The player can leave behind like a ladder or like a climbing rope or like a vehicle for you. It is very helpful for like vehicles because they'll leave behind like a vehicle for you. And if you're in a certain base that can't fabricate vehicles, you have no way to get vehicles outside of what the player leaves for you. So it is very cool. So, the online system, if it wasn't for the online system like in the game itself would be very hard. It would be very tedious. In areas or the mountain area, it's really like a pain in the ass because you have a lot of rougher terrain, and it is very hard to get vehicles through the mountain. And going through the mountain, it is essential for getting completing the game. But yeah, the mountain area was very annoying. But if it wasn't for the online features of the game, it would be a struggle to get through the mountain like in the game. So yeah, but the online, there's an online private locker. So at every facility, there's a locker so you can store things. Players will store like their own items, I believe, online. I believe that's how it works. And you can share those items you have or take items other people has. And yeah, doing this actually saves you resources. So it saves you resources. It saves you system, using up like your own, metal or ceramic. And yeah, so it is very helpful to do that. So, as you get further into the game, you learn more about the terrain, right? One more thing about, the online actually is, I'm not sure if a player sets up a system, does that system stay like in the game forever? So if they set up a generator, does that generator stay in the game forever? I'm not sure like how it works. If you know, comment down below, right? But yeah. So the terrain, understand the terrain, the environment, right? Environmentally speaking, right? So there's time fall, which basically degrades anything that it touches. So it speeds up the aging process of anything that it touches. It looks like regular rain, like a regular rain. There's time fall. There is the black ink fall. That's a more toxic rain, and it will do more damage to your cargo over time. So you're constantly, through the game, you eventually predict the ability to know like where a time fall is gonna drop, right? So avoiding time fall is very important for package delivery and package maintenance and all that. So like I said before, in the first video I did, I'll leave it down below there in the description. And the more package, so whatever is in your inventory, there is a visual representation of that like on your back. So whatever you're carrying is in your inventory. outside of if it's something you are delivering. So you have to carry your inventory like on your back. It's on your back, and it is a very unique, very a unique way of doing it. I like the more video gamey way, whereas if it's a GTA game, for example, you can have 10 different weapons, but it's in your inventory, but you can't see it. You can't see all the weapons at once, but you can carry as much as possible. There's a weight limit. There's a certain weight limit, so you can only carry. You eventually get like these exoskeleton suits, which makes you carry more and makes you stronger, but you can only carry so much weight on your body. It goes up to what, 200 kilograms of weight. Which, no, sorry, 130 is the base, and then it goes up, so it just keeps going up as you get more, as you unlock better exosuits, I believe. So yeah, the weight limit, it is helpful for trucks. As I play the game, like I'm trying to get trucks. So if you get trucks, your cargo automatically goes into the truck. The truck will also have a weight limit as well. It will also have a weight limit. Right, the bicycle as well. The bicycle you can carry, so the bicycle, right, you can carry cargo on it too, but the more you're carrying, the slower the bicycle will go, right? And yeah, so more in the systems too, like there's weapons as well. There's the bowler weapon, which ties up enemies. There's a sticky weapon, which it's a weird weapon that snatches cargoes like from a mule, so it will snatch single containers like from mules, or I like to call them bandits or whatever. There's a non-lethal assault rifles and shotguns and anti-BT weapons. They're specifically for those black ink enemies, the BTs. And yeah, so the weapons, as you get further, you unlock more weapons. In the game. So going back to things like materials and resources. Right, I didn't know this until later on, like late in the game. I didn't know how to build like a road, right? So roads, they're very good for getting over rough terrain, rocky areas, uneven slopes, uphill areas, right? So building roads is very helpful. But you gotta use a lot of resources to build the roads. Ceramic and metal mostly, and these chiral crystals is like a certain mineral or whatever that you use to build a road. And this terminal, through this futuristic, technology, it can use some sort of like, a printing, like some sort of a highly advanced printing machine to build a road, right? It is very cool. It is a very cool little cutscene. So building roads, it is very helpful. There's building bridges. So bridges which are, smaller, but they're more so for getting over a gap. So there'll be like this, a terrain gap. There'll be like this huge gap in the terrain, and if you fall into this gap, you will die. Yeah, from a fall damage. So I can get the bridge over the gap, and so you can just drive over, at the gap without falling down. So bridges there are very helpful. So going back to the online, on bridges, players leave bridges everywhere. Like they leave bridges for you everywhere, and it actually helps. This helps you big time. Like this will help you big time. Take advantage of the bridges. Zip lines too, like I mentioned earlier, zip lines. So playing, when you unlock zip lines, they're good for mountain areas, for mountain trips. So if you're trying to do a delivery like in the mountain, they're very good for that though. They're very good. So the story, the story, as I played, I'm more through the story. So basically every person you are delivering to, for the most part, everybody has their own speciality in a certain field of science or something that's important. So for example, there'll be agriculture, there'll be engineering, there'll be biology, geology, like the study of prehistoric beings and dinosaurs. So everybody has a certain speciality. There's even a film director, a cosplayer, and yeah. So as you unlock, as you deliver to these facilities, you deliver items that they need. You unlock more, more items and abilities over time, right? So it's very helpful to do, as many deliveries as possible. There's only so much you can deliver, and it's only so long. There's only so much time before delivering and gets boring. But yeah, the story itself looks at, evolution and philosophical meaning of survival, and a kind of, it's a lot of weird ambiguousness to it, right? And it's very much open to interpretation. But the director Hideo Akojima, right? He does this, a lot. His stories are very philosophical, and lots of weirdness to it. There's lots of weird cutscenes, and yeah, the silent protagonist, which you play as Sam, is a silent protagonist, right? He doesn't speak much, right? He lets, he's very much like an observer, right? But through him, like, you really see the world, and I gotta see the world through his eyes, and you and him, you're trying at the same time. You're starting to learn the world as he is learning the world. So it is, a kind of unique in that way. So Death Stranding, I bought it 2 years ago. I didn't like it at first, but then February came around and I said, okay, I'm gonna play it again. Get through the game. It gets better, like I said before. It gets better the more you play it and the more you understand it, right? I know this is not a game, for everybody. It's definitely not a game for everybody. Lots of limitations, too many systems, right? But once you understand those areas, those systems, right, and the game gets easier. There's little tiny details like in the game, right? So vehicle charging. So charging up vehicles, you can't charge up a vehicle if you are outside the chiral network area. So there's a Wi-Fi areas where if you don't have chiral coverage, you can't build like a generator, for example. And if you're far away from like a base, it'll be hard. So the game is gonna have limitations, and yeah. But Death Stranding, it is a very unique experience, right? It's one of those games, right, that I'm happy I gave like a second chance to. And it is a very long game. And yeah, so like, share, subscribe. Thank you.